All right, so the main thing that was kind of interest and is the send reminder. So basically, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to go under commands and set up a command for reminder. So just a basic command, and I have it set up with two different triggers. So remind or remind crash. I only really advertised the remind crash one, but I thought if people forget to put crash, at least it'll still work. Then on this side, you set up who has access to it. By default, just the broadcaster would have access to it. So like if we move everything over on to the left side, only I would be able to use it. So in this case, I had it to, I forget what now. Yeah, mods and VIPs. Um, it'll ignore bot accounts, ignore internal messages. Those are kind of just the defaults. I'm not 100% sure what they do. And this is just the source of where this is only for Twitch. That's all it's coming from. Then you can set the cooldown 5 seconds globally, but 15 seconds for the same user to repeat it. So once you have that command set up, then you come to the actions, and so then you have to set up a new action. I just call it send reminder. It's enabled. I don't have any kind of group set up, so that doesn't matter. I don't have anything but the default queue set up. And I haven't played with any of these other options. They don't matter for what we're doing right now anyways. So once you have that action set up, then you need to set up a trigger. So in our case, we want the trigger to be a command. So those are found. So to open up that context menu, you right click, you go to core, you go to commands, and then you go to command triggered. That'll give you this. Then you get to pick your command. So in this case, we're doing the remind command. So we pick that. And then the fun stuff happens down here. So this is uh, what does all of the work really is this Discord basic webhook. So that is again under you right click, and I forget where it is. So let me just go. It's under integrations and then Discord and then basic webhook. So that property looks a little bit daunting. We'll go over this in a second. So before you can set up this webhook sub action, you have to go to the channel that you want it to post to, and this only works when you're not in streamer mode, so I just disabled it for a second. Oh, you can't see my Discord. One sec. Now you should see it. Yes. Okay, so what you do is you right click on the channel that you want it to post to, and you go edit channel, and you go to integrations, and you go to webhooks, and this is the one that I have set up already. So I'll just click on that one for now. So when you're creating a new one, you're gonna go new webhook, and then it's gonna just call it whatever the heck it wants. You click on it, change the name to what you want, tell it what channel you want it to post to, and then you would copy the URL. So once you have the URL, that's where it goes into the StreamerBot webhook sub action. So you copy that link, paste it in here, and that's it really for that part. So you give it a name here just so it shows up in the StreamerBot interface. The username doesn't matter because it's going to just default to whatever the name you give the webhook in Discord. And so then the magic is what's in the content of it. So every message is going to be prefaced with remember to, and then this raw input is a variable that contains whatever text is put after the command. And so the way that I found that out is if you go into the action queue and the action history, this gives you a list of everything that has been run since StreamerBot was opened. And then what you can do is when you double click on it, this shows you all the variables that were in place when that action was run. And so you can see here raw input, because this is a redeem that doesn't have any kind of input, it's blank. But on a remind crash command, it would show, oh, you don't see this other screen. Okay, that's terrible. Do you see this? No, you don't see that either. Okay, give me 2 seconds then to add, because without seeing this, it doesn't make any sense. Window capture, why doesn't that capture with StreamerBot? StreamerBot 2? Okay, so now we want to see StreamerBot. Discord basic webhook. Okay, so there is. So this is the window that I've been talking about. That is the webhook settings. So you put the webhook name at the top. The username doesn't matter because it's going to just use whatever you have set up in the webhook on the Discord side. And then, so you put the webhook URL that you get from Discord here, and then this is what the message is going to be. So all my messages that get posted start with remember to, and then this is the raw input variable that I was talking about that you didn't see the first time I was talking about it. So, and then I was saying the way that I found that was in the action queue, action history, and then I need to get that screen to show up. So let me edit this now to show, oh, why doesn't that, oh, right there, variables. So this is all the variables that Twitch, sent to StreamerBot when it ran the action. Oh, so I can show you it on this one. Variables, send reminder. So because somebody sent a reminder, so this is what that command looks like. So Ryan, he's the best. Well, thank you to whoever sent that. But so that's what the raw input contained when that specific command was run. And then it breaks it up. This one escaped would escape all special characters. This is URL encoded one, so it replaces characters with URL safe characters. I don't care about that. And then every word in the input is split into its own variable with the same 3 variables for each word. I don't need to go that far. I don't care about each individual word. So raw input is the one that got set up. then it gives you a bunch of other information, the user that did it, where it came from, is it the user subscribed, and if it's a moderator, is it a VIP, when it was, and all that fun stuff. So once you have that um, that variable, you throw that into the basic webhook settings, which I have to change this to again. I should just do screen capture instead, but I'm afraid I'm going to pull something up that I don't want to be on screen. So, and at, really, that's all there is to it, right? So if we go back to my Discord for a second, and we get rid of that, you'll see that this is what it did, right? So with Reese's command, it said it sent to here, remember to, he's the best. So, it's not super flexible because it's hard coded to say, remember to do this thing. That's what it was intended for, right? Um, but, and then these are just things that I reminded myself of, but then, so it's then you just end up with a list of things to do in this Discord channel, and you can choose to do with them what you wish at this point. Like these were from the last stream where I first announced the command. So there's a bunch of stuff, right? And you see that I reacted to the ones that I did stuff with, and the ones that I didn't do anything with, I've left the way they are. Um, I think what I might like to do is add, and then so as a secondary action, after it has sent that to Discord, it will send a message, as you can see in the chat, that it replies to the message and said, yeah, reminder sent, now it's up to Crash to actually do the thing. Well, that's just done with the Twitch reply to message, so that found under right click in the sub actions, Twitch, chat, and then reply to message, and that'll just reply to the message ID, which is the message that called this action. And that's that really. Um, so what I want to do though with this is that there? Nope. What's that one? Oh, it is. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to add the username of the person that actually wanted me to remember whatever it was. So if I open up the variables again, we can see that there's two variables, user and then username. So user, I think, is like how it's capitalized in chat, and then username is just your Twitch username. So I'm gonna use user. So we come back to action, send reminder, Discord basic webhook, change this to that so we can see it. Discord basic webhook. Where is it? That's not what's there anymore. There. Okay, so then all we're gonna do is, I'm just gonna add that, and we do this, and we do that. So in theory, this should now do the same thing, except it's gonna put the username at the end. If somebody wants to try it just as a test, that'd be great, because maybe I'm full of shit too. No? Oh, there we go. See? Thanks. So now I know who reminded me to do the thing, and if I need to get back to them or follow up with them or whatever, I have their Twitch username right there, and I can reach out to them and whatever. So that's the basics of it. Uh, I guess as a proper teacher, I'll say, do you have any questions? Did that make sense? And if you go to set it up and you have troubles, I'm not far away. Um, but I plan on taking maybe this section of stream and uploading it to YouTube if nobody that's in chat right now objects to that. Um, and then anybody that ever wants to reference to this can reference to it whenever they want. But if anybody objects, I won't do that. Yeah, so like I could make a separate YouTube video, or like I said, I can just cut up this section of the stream and turn that and upload that to YouTube. Um, but it's gonna have the chat and everything on the side, so if we'd rather not that, then I'll take time and record a video by itself, which is not a big deal. I don't mind doing it whatsoever. Um, I want to go over something else that I set up. Since we're here, now I'm excited to talk about StreamerBot, so if we don't mind, I'd like to talk about something else that I set up. Anybody objects? Speak now or forever hold your peace. So, the other thing was I noticed that our friend Mark, when he raids, he can type a custom raid message on the in the chat and it'll use that instead of his regular raid message. So I was like, well, can I do that with StreamerBot? And I figured out kind of how to do it. Um, I've probably overcomplicated it in a way, but I think it's also very much future proof. So basically, what I have is instead of a sub raid and a raid command, I have just a raid out command. And so if we go check out the command and we do raid out, so right now only moderators can do it. And I don't have any moderators in the chat, so I'm going to add VIPs for right now, just so you guys can see how it works as I'm talking about it. So again, the command is set up same way, has a name, has the command, what to ignore, where it's going to come from. The cooldowns I set up the same way. And so now in the actions, we have the raid out action, which gets triggered when the raid out command is used, and then it does all of this stuff. So the first thing it's going to do is it's going to send a message to chat that's going to say, thanks for joining. Please join us on Discord if you want to stay up to date. And then it's going to throw in this Discord link. So this Discord link surrounded by the title or whatever it's called is a user defined variable. So this is a variable that I defined. So if we go look up here in variables, and that is probably not going to show up on the screen, and we'll fix that for a second. Where is it? Global variables, right there. Okay, so this is all the variables that I have set up. Uh, so you can see Discord link is there. So the reason why I decided to set up this stuff as variables is that if now I can use it elsewhere without having to write it again, right? And if I ever need to modify the Discord link, I only need to modify it in one spot instead of potentially modifying it everywhere that I have it. So you'll see here the other stuff I've set up. So this is the follower raid leading part, the follower raid ending part. This is the default raid message, and then this is the sub raid, leading part, and the sub raid ending part. So then basically all the action does is, if we remember, so this is done with conditionals. So the conditional stuff is under core and under logic, and then if else. So that gives you the ability to say, if this variable is empty, then you're gonna do oh, and you're not seeing this, hold on a second. Logic if else, there. So now hopefully you can kind of see that. And so what this is doing again is it's saying if the variable raw input is empty. So if you remember, the raw input variable, it contains anything that was put in after the command or after the action that triggered this stuff to run. So this says, again, if raw input is empty or null, then you're going to do regular raid. So this is saying, again, if nothing comes after that raid out command, you're just going to call regular raid. And we'll go through and look at what regular raid is after. But then it also says, so if that's false, that means that raw input was defined, it means raw input had something in it. So now it's going to call regular raid C, which is what I called regular raid custom. And then it will continue and do the other section. So again, this is the same thing except for the subraid stuff. So once it's determined whether there was some inputs, it will call regular raid. So if it calls regular raid, the only thing that regular raid does is it sends a Twitch message, which has these three variables in it that we saw were defined before. So it'll put the regular raid leading stuff, the raid body, and then the regular raid trail stuff. And if it calls regular raid C, then what it does, the only difference here is that the raid body is replaced with raw input. So whatever gets typed in after the raid out command is going to replace what's in between the emotes. And so the same thing for subraid C or subraid, right? Either it puts raw input or it puts the raid body message. So I thought that was pretty cool to be able to do that kind of so easily. And so these other like regular raid and subraid C, they don't have any other triggers. They just get called by this raid out function or action or whatever you want to call it. And these options here next to it are just that it's always going to run. So even if the queue was paused or if something else was holding it up, these would always run. And then some of you, and I have to fix this, but some of you seen the early crew redemption that I added. That's also kind of done like this. Just saying, Twitch reward redemption of early crew, then it does the thing. But for some reason in the Twitch panel, it's still called first when it should be called early crew. It's called early crew everywhere else that I looked. So I don't know. I may have to delete it and recreate it, but for now it works. Um, and so then another thing that I set up, which is kind of, so this ads coming thing, it can trigger an action on how soon ads are coming. So in this case, I just have it set up that when ads are within, coming within a minute, send out this message. Fairly simple. And I moved my quotes here. We could go through that, but oh, and I made a thing to actually put the chat into emote only. I don't know why Twitch has a default emote only chat redemption that doesn't actually do anything. Originally, I had just turned it on, assuming that it was going to do what it said it was going to do, but it didn't do a darn thing. So anyways, now it would actually work. It'll turn on emote only mode, it'll send this message, it'll wait for 2 minutes, and then it'll turn emote only off. But yeah, that's what I have set up for now.